Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be looking back at the racing over the Christmas period that we've just seen from Leopardstown and Kempton mainly, and focusing on those two tracks as that's where all the main grade races were, and looking what horses to follow looking ahead to the Cheltenham Festival, which is only a couple months away now. So it's going to come around really quickly, which is quite exciting, and I hope I'll put out some tips for that, get some anti-post bets on after looking at the results that have just happened. So we'll start with Boxing Day at the King George, and Tornado Fly won it. He was 28 to 1 on the day. He won it very nice in the end, winning by about 10 lengths, I think it was. It's sort of a flat galloping track, and his stamina wasn't tested as it was his first run over 3 miles. So he wouldn't be a horse for me looking ahead to the Gold Cup, but he did win the race very well. The race sort of fell apart a bit. Manila Indo just didn't turn up at all, was beat miles out. So he looks a bit of a question mark for the Gold Cup now, so would be hesitant on him. Chantry House horse I've never liked, and he then once again just disappointed. He was beaten miles out. Just got found out by the step up in grade, and he just wouldn't be for me at all going forward for this season. Just don't think he's up to the grade 1 level, to be honest. I was on Clan Obo, as you probably know, for the King George. He finished second in the end. Would probably have finished third if Asterion Forlonge had stayed up at the last. He ran alright, just got beat by a more unexposed horse I thought on the day. But he ran okay, and he'll win a few races this season, probably at Aintree or something. But I wouldn't take anything out of the race hugely, to be honest with you. But Bravesman Game for Nichols beat a Hoyce and Yaw at Kempton as well on Boxing Day. I was on Bravesman Game. I wasn't convinced by Hoy at Newbury. I know everybody else was, but I just haven't been convinced with him, really. His jumping at Newbury didn't impress me, and once again he was let down again at Kempton by his jumping. I just don't think... I know he did a good time and everything at Newbury, just not a horse for me, to be honest. So that's why I backed Bravesman Game, and he beat him fair and square. Hoy's now 10 to 1 for the Festival Novice Chasers 3 mile Novice Chase at Cheltenham. He could win that. But I think I've got a different selection for that race, as you guys know if you've been following my videos, and that is Galloping Deschamps for that race. Epatante won again. I was on her as well at Kempton, so it had been quite a good Boxing Day for me. She won very well. The form isn't great, I don't think, so I wouldn't be following her for Champion Hurdle, but it was nice for her to get back and winning tracks. Go to Leopardstown now, and started off the festival with Sir Gerhard winning very well. He was super impressive, I thought. Jumped really well, and I think he'll definitely be aimed at Supreme now because he showed lots of speed. And I think he'll attempt to make all, I would have thought, in the Supreme if he turns up there. He's around 11.251 right now for the race, which seems a very generous pricing as he won Champion Bumper last year, even though he's lucky in that race. But Sir Gerhard looks a very good bet at 5-1. Now, you have John Bond and Constitution Hill in the race also. I've been on Constitution Hill for a while now because he just visually I was just taken by his performance at Sandown, just like a wow moment, and he did backed up by the clock as well. So I just think Constitution Hill is my selection right now, but if you were to back Sir Gerhard, I wouldn't blame you as well. Neither John Bond, but John Bond's looking a little bit short, I would have thought, because it seems quite a competitive race. Fernie Hollow was also very good at Leopardstown. He beat Riviere de Tel, giving her £13. Very good performance, to be fair. He's now 6'4", I think, for the Arkle. He is one of the favourites that I actually want to take on at Cheltenham. No, he just has a little doubt in my mind that he's actually going to be as good a chaser as what he could have been hurdling. You know, he jumped very well the other day, and he beat Riviere de Tel fair and square. Just something telling me that he's going to be the favourite I'm going to try and take on at Cheltenham in the novice chases, and so, but he's a worthy favourite 100%. But I think Blue Lord for Willie Mullins could be a little bit of a dark horse in that race, so you get around 10 to 1 for him for the Arkle. So I think Blue Lord might be my little each way bet for the Arkle, and I'll take on Fernie Hollow, even though he's very good at Leopardstown. And guys, Phil Daw also won very nicely. Improved on his, it was only his first start, and he definitely showed improvement by beating the second further this time. He also had a penalty, and he looks very good on soft ground. So if Triumph comes up soft, I'd definitely be backing him. But I would also back him good ground. I just think it's quite a weak division this year. And although more horses will come out between now and Cheltenham, he just seems like a very solid horse for the Triumph. And I think I've got him in at 8 to 1. I think he's now 3 to 1. So I think Phil Dawes is a very solid bet for the Triumph as well. As the bumper at Leopardstown as well, Facile Vega won it in a really quick time. It looks very useful horse, and he's got the same favourite Champion Bumper behind American Mike. Now, either one, both look very special horses, and it's sort of down to your sort of preference to which horse you go with, I'd say. But he's definitely a worthy contender in that race, and Willie Mullins definitely has a shout to go up against American Mike with. We're going 27th now, back to Kempton as well. Edward Stone won very impressively. It's now 4-1 second favourite for the Arkle. Definitely a very useful chaser, just doubt he has the slight edge class as Fernie Hollow and some of the other Mullins horses, I'd say. So I wouldn't be on him for the Arkle, but he deserves his place in the lineup. Now, Shishkin, I think, is best horse in training. He was mightily impressive, just wow, what he did. Great to see Nicky Henson's reaction as well in the stands when he won. Nicky's got him spot on. He's literally Shishkin is literally a replica of Altior. He hits a flat spot, stays 2 miles super strongly. So just think he's literally an Altior in the making, and you'd be mad to back against for Champion Chase. He's around 10 to 11 for it, so it's a very short price. But I'd definitely be backing him over Enigamine. He's basically sit there. I just watch him for that race, maybe chuck him a few accumulators, but Shishkin will win the Champion Chase this year. Envoy Allen also won at Leopardstown, but he was very poor. Wouldn't be touching him again this season. He just isn't the horse he was, which is a shame, but it's the way it goes. So I wouldn't be touching him again for any race at Cheltenham. I have a bit of a 33-1 shot for the Albert Bartley at Cheltenham. It's called Freedom to Dream. Now, he came second at Limerick in a race that Vanillier came second in last year. And Vanillier obviously went on to win the Albert Bartley. Freedom to Dream is very unexposed. His first run at 3 miles the other day. He came second to Eric Bloodaxe, who seems quite a good horse. But it seems the race usually throws up a bit of a clue for the Albert Bartley. So I do think Freedom Dream, who's around 33-1 for the Albert Bartley, could be a little bit of an each way poke if you want a bit of a bigger price. I've got him at 33s, so I just think the Albert Bartley always throws up a weird result, so I do think he could run well if he turns up for the race. Just coming towards the end of Leopardstown Festival now, Classical Dream also won. He's just very talented horse, just beat Flooring Porter by a couple of lengths. The start was very questionable. I was on Flooring Porter, but they both ran very good races. I think it would take a lot out of them, but I think they could be the horses to beat in this year's Cheltenham Festival. There's just not a lot. I don't think it's the strongest division. I know Champ's in it, and he definitely is worthy to be up in the favourites. But I would have it between those three. I don't think it's the strongest of divisions again. Quite close competitive. There's no standout in it, I don't think. But Classical Dream was quite very keen at Leopardstown. He just stayed on very strongly and never really looked like getting beat, to be fair, by Flooring Porter. So I think it'll be half of Flooring Porter reversed to form if the tactics work exactly the same at Leopardstown. But those two are very good horses to take out the race. Aplutard was very disappointing at Leopardstown. I can't believe he got beat. I thought he was just a certainty. Basically banker of the whole Christmas period, I thought. Got beat online by Galvin. Now he's around 3-1 Aplutard for Gold Cup still. He's still been my horse for the race. He has the right sort of profile for the race. Second last year, he's turning 8. And that seems perfect for the Gold Cup now. I just think Rachel might have got there a bit soon. Davey just great Galvin, a great ride to pick Aplutard up on the line. I think Aplutard has a slight bit of edge and just don't think the race worked out for him. And I don't think he was on his best day either, because Ken Boy was very close to him. And if Aplutard's on his best day, it's no way Ken Boy's staying that close to him. So I think Aplutard, I would stick faithful to him for the Gold Cup. He was just disappointing the other day. Now, probably the most impressive performance of the whole Christmas period was Galopin Des Champs. I backed him at 8-1 for the Festival Noise Chase 3 mile chase at Cheltenham back in October, I think it was. He's now 7-4 favourite for it. I think it's one of my first tips on my YouTube series for this season. He's just brilliant horse, brilliant chaser, very good at his fences. Stays really, really strongly, and it's probably one of the most professional beginners chase performances you ever see at Leopardstown by a newcomer over fences. I don't see how he doesn't have a great chance in the 3 mile chase at Cheltenham. He'll have Bravesman Game to take on, but Bravesman Game and him both jump very well, and just think Galopin Des Champs, he'll be fresher. It's only out his first run this season, and he'll just be primed for the race. So he'll be a very tough horse to beat as well at Cheltenham. Now, Run Wild Fred also ran at Leopardstown over Christmas. He came second to Fury Road. He was what Runwell Fred is now 5-1 for the National Chase. He stayed unchanged his price for the National Chase, the 3 mile 6 at Cheltenham on day one of the festival. I think he ran very well the other day. He just got a little bit done for speed up the straight turning in by Fury Road. I still would back him for the National Chase. I just think that race is made for him. He seems like he's still improving, I think. Fury Road just put in a brilliant performance at Leopardstown. But Fury Road will still be my horse because that was only over 3 miles. He probably needs the extra half mile. So Runwell Fred at 5-1 would still be my selection for the race at Cheltenham. Journey With Me beat Kilcrut. He's now favourite for the Ballymore. But I wasn't convinced by the performance. Kilcrut disappointed once again. There's something not right with him. So I don't think the form is that strong, I don't think. Although Journey With Me is now favourite for Ballymore, I think he's around 5-1. The race at Lawlers, the Lawlers Nace race at Nace on Sunday, the 2nd of January. Bob Bollinger and Envoy Allen both won that in the last 2 years, and they both went on to win the Ballymore. So the Lawlers normally throws up the winner of the Ballymore. So I would probably be waiting to see the winner of that before backing a horse for the Ballymore. I thought Dysart Diner was going to go for the race, which would have been interesting for Wellings, but he's sent what do you want? I don't know how to pronounce it really. But he's only had 3 runs, 2 bumps and a hurdle. Seems very likely to go for this race. He's around 18-1 best price for the Ballymore right now. I'm not sure what price he is for the Lawlers yet, but I'm going to take a chance. He's the only Mullins horse in the race, which is quite a clue in itself that he thinks this horse is his for the Ballymore, I'd suggest. So if he goes and wins, he'll probably go favourite, I would have thought, for the Ballymore, and he's 18-1 right now. So he could go into 5-1 if he wins on Sunday. So he'd definitely be the horse I'd be with for the Lawlers. I'd take a little bit of risk on him for the Ballymore as well, anti-post, just in case he wins, and then you're sitting on a good bet. But that's my selection for the Ballymore, hoping that he goes well in the Lawlers. That may change, obviously. Stage Star also won the Challow at Newbury. Very impressively. I tipped him up for my members. He was very good, just shows a really good turn of foot. Now he's 8-1 for the Ballymore, but the Challow doesn't normally throw up the winner of the Ballymore, so I wouldn't be touching him for the Ballymore, even though he's around 8-1, and he's a very good horse. Just the race patterns and stats don't really work well for the Challow with the Ballymore, so I wouldn't be touching him, but he's a very good horse in his own right. Charger won again at Leopardstown. He's just a great horse. He will always bump into Honeysuckle, but he deserves to take his place in Champion Hurdle again. Now, looking ahead to it's to Cheltenham for New Year's Day tomorrow, and I will just give you a couple of tips for there. Now, in the 125, Le Homme Press is 7-4 favourite for Venetia Williams and Charlie Deutsch. Only had 2 runs over fences, been very good both times. Mightily impressive at Ascot last time. Jumped a little bit left-handed, so Cheltenham will suit more than Ascot did, and he seems like the most unexposed, classiest horse in the race. If he wins this, I assume he'll be aimed at the Turners, the 2.5 mile novice chase at Cheltenham. That race is really cutting up. Bob Bollinger seems like a standout banker of the whole week now, with My Drogo now out for the season. So Le Homme Press could turn into second favourite for that race if he wins here. He's around 16-1, I think, still for the Turners, but I think he should go and win tomorrow regardless. He's around 7-4, so a bit of a short price, but seems a bit of a banker of the New Year's Day meeting. Now, the 2 o'clock at Cheltenham, got a little bit of a horse feeling for Galahad Quest, who ran 9-1 in the 2 o'clock. He fell last time, went off favourite, and he's threatening to win a big handicap. I think he's got it in him. He seems quite a talented horse, and just wouldn't be surprised if he ran well tomorrow at Cheltenham. He's ran 9-1. He's gone well at the track before. He's even won here before, so I just think he's got a little bit of feeling he could run really well at a bit of a bigger price. So it'd be worth taking an each way chance on him at 9-1. And now in the 3:10 at Cheltenham, Bring Up Storms 11-8. He backed him last time. He bolted up at Aintree. Definitely a horse full over 2.5 miles. Shame it's not a 2.5 mile Grade 1 hurdle at Cheltenham, but he's definitely a very good horse at this distance. This seems optimum for his sort of running style. So I just think Bring Up Storm seems a very good bet for tomorrow as well. He seems a bit of a banker. Double up Le Homme Press and him, I'd say, in a good double. That would be very hard to beat. So you got and then also make sure on Sunday at Nace to follow the Lawlers. The winner of that will run very well in the Ballymore at Cheltenham, and that is your big clue for that race at Cheltenham. So hopefully, guys, I've summed up the racing quite quickly for you guys. So just if you haven't been following it totally in detail, you've got a bit of an indicator for the Cheltenham Festival now. Been lots of clues. So hopefully you've got some anti-post bets on that are good value now, like Galopin des Champs. But remember to back Shishkin at Cheltenham. He's the best horse in training, I'd say. Tune in next time for my video, and Happy New Year to you all. Have a good one, and hopefully we get someone into the new year. Thanks for listening.